Teo DB14. Is it really worth purchasing? Stay tuned and find out. What's up, YouTube? So I'm going to do a review on a Teo DB14. This isn't your normal review. This is a 3-year review. I'm going to tell you the things that I really haven't liked about the bike, and I'm going to tell you the good things about the bike. Okay, so we'll get started real quick here. I'll go through the things that I have liked about the bike and that I have enjoyed, my children being able to enjoy about the bike. And for starters, they're cheap, man. They are really cheap. So that's probably the first thing. As far as it, and when I say cheap, I mean inexpensive, and that does kind of trickle down into the quality of the bike some, and I'll go over that in just a minute. But what I will say, I was able to get them on dirt bikes that are relatively quick to teach them the fundamentals. I was able to get them on them for really cheap. I'm talking under $1,000 for 2 bikes. You really can't beat that. You can't even find a used one right now, a used Japanese bike that's not beat to crap for under, I don't know, 2 grand now. So what I'm gonna say is I think these bikes have served their purpose in the life and our life. So another thing that I really liked about the bikes is they're easy to operate for the kids, like really easy to operate. This one is a automatic clutch, standard shift, simple controls, on off switch. You have your throttle, your front brake, your rear brake. Everything is on the bike where it should be for teaching the fundamentals. And let's talk about that gear shift for a second. One of the things I don't like is it's all down. You shift all down. Neutral is all the way up. It makes it a little bit more difficult when they are transitioning to, say, a bike like my boys just transitioned to, which is a KTM 65. With having the middle neutral or 1 down, 5 up, it does make it a little bit challenging for them to start learning how to ride those type of bikes. But I mean, really, that's it. Your brake's in the same spot. Your front brake's here, your rear brake's here, kickstart. Everything's in normal spots. It's not like a Triumph or something like that, or some of those older street bikes that had right-hand drive, blah blah blah, all that kind of crap. So everything is where it should be on the bike. So let's talk about the things that I don't like. It was just a couple things until I really started looking over this bike for this video. The carburetors. I don't like the carburetors that come on them. They have a bowl on it that is pop riveted on, so you can't take it apart and put it back together if it needs to be cleaned. The easiest thing to do is go on Amazon. You order a pit bike carburetor, and this is what you get. You get a replacement that bolts on with some very slight modifications. 10 minutes later, you got a bike that runs again, and it runs great if you ever have to replace the carb. I just run the stock one until you just had to. The gear shift, I already talked about it a little bit in a video that I posted 3 years ago. We replaced that gear shifter because the old one will bend. It will not fold up. It's an old cheap metal one that just causes some issues from time to time. So again, that's probably I think that's a $15 fix or so on Amazon. The kickstart that originally came on these things is absolute junk. This one has lasted 3 years of kicking, and to this day it still works great. Again, Amazon, like 18 bucks. Okay, so that was an easy one. So that's the little parts that I've had to replace. Now let's talk about things that have broken on the bike. All right, things that have broken on the bike. This bolt right here, the exhaust flange bolt, they've broke on both bikes, either broke or backed out. Now what I will suggest is, once you get the bikes new, pull those bolts out, put some Loctite on them, put them back in. You shouldn't have any issues. I didn't do that. I've had to replace a couple, and I had one break when I tried to tighten it down one time. it's 3 years into this thing. So there are parts that need to be replaced. There are normal maintenance parts that need to be replaced. Fork seals. It's time for fork seals in the thing. Probably just gonna buy them off of Amazon or something. Just buy new forks. You can see right here, the seal has cracked around here. And with that being cracked, it has leaked some oil out. When they ride it for long periods of time, you can see some oil build up on the main shaft going in to the forks. Let's talk about another thing. This bolt right here for the swing arm, I've had to tighten it up, I don't know, 20 times or better. And what that does is that causes chain alignment here issues, and it causes the chain to pop off. Now, when the chain pops off, it's really not that big of a deal to put it back on. It's really not. Then you tighten it back up and you go on about your business. The chains on these things stretch a lot, a whole lot. I'll show you an issue that was caused by the chain stretching. Right here, you'll notice there is part, and I mean part, of the chain tensioner left. Chain tensioner was absolute junk. It broke within, I don't know, 4 or 5 rides. But it's not required. You don't have to have the chain tensioner for the bike to ride. You don't. It doesn't even have to be there. So I just left it alone, took the parts off that were messing anything up or rubbing on anything, and I've let the boys ride. Now today, this right here is probably the worst thing that I found on the bike since they've owned these bikes. And this one has me kind of concerned, and this might put the bike down and out for a while if I can't find a part. If I can find a part, it's an easy fix. But right here, swing arm bolt, the one that I said that I keep having to tighten down, well, it's sheared off. You can look at it and tell that's sheared. So with that being sheared off, that means they cannot ride this bike anymore until I find that part. And there is no telling when I'm gonna find that part. So I'll go on Teo's website, see if I can find the part on there. If I can't, there's some other resources where you can find online, and that's what I'll have to do. Let's talk about the really good things about these bikes. I did talk a little bit about the good in the very beginning, but I'm gonna do the Oreo. I'm gonna do the sandwich. You got the good stuff in them, and on the outsides, it holds all the meat together on the inside. Whatever. Somebody told me a long time ago. Now that I'm saying it on camera, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, so the good about these bikes is they run. They run and they run and they run and they run. I've had no issues out of them running either bike. The DB10, I will go over some issues that I've had with the DB10. I'll go over those. I don't know when I'll go over them, but I will go over some of the issues that I had with the DB10 and do a full-blown review on it as well. They're not overly powerful bikes, so you can teach your children the fundamentals. At the same time, even though they're not overly powered, they still run good and they ride good, and they're a lot of fun. I mean, they're a blast to ride. It disc brakes front and back, so I haven't had any issues out of those. Haven't even had to replace any disc yet. I mean, not disc, but brake pads, and that's coming soon. I can tell. The front it's gonna need to be replaced real soon. Anyway, so that is my 3-year review of the DB10, and you'll have to forgive me. My front screen keeps going off on my GoPro. 3-year review of the DB10, and I hope this helps somebody out there. So all in all, if you are mechanically inclined and you either A, don't have a ton of money to spend, or B, want to get your children on something that is going to be affordable to start riding, get them acclimated to the fundamentals of riding a dirt bike, these bikes work great for that. Then they're cheap enough you can either pass them on to somebody else or sell them for dirt cheap to somebody to help somebody less fortunate who maybe can't afford one. do exactly what you're doing with your children and get them on a dirt bike. Because let's face it, there's nothing like riding off-road. It's just a blast to do and it's fun. So if you want something and you're good with a wrench and you don't have a ton of money to spend, or you just want to get your kids involved in it, see if they like it, Teoteos are great. They're really good. If you're looking for something to take to the track or take to the woods every single weekend where you're going to be bashing like miles and miles and miles of trails, I don't know that I really recommend this. You know, if you can't afford a brand new Japanese bike, I don't know, maybe try to find something used on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something like that. But these bikes right here are really, really good bikes in comparison to what you spend. So if you're thinking about getting one, please watch this video. Take note of everything that you see on the video and make your decision from there. I hope this video helps somebody out there in some way, shape, or form. Remember, like the video, go back and watch the other videos from 3 years ago that I did on the 2 bikes. Hopefully they'll help somebody out. Until next time, go like, go subscribe. I'll see you later.